First question is on China itself. Mike's asking, does your models of GDP factor in an escalation of the trade war with China? Could the drag on the economy move the quad for the next few quarters?
Yeah, anything could move the quad. I mean, the data is the data. That's what's actually happened, is that the quads have not been able to comp the comps in China. So what that means is that while the base effects are easing, they're getting easier, but they're not easy, is what Darius likes to say. Can we show the 2-year base effect in China? And again, we would highly recommend you don't take the shortcut or Occam's razor or whatever you need to make it so simple that everything's about trade war. You know, if you want to be a certified lazy idiot, you can do that. But that's not what you want to do. So this base effect, let's doodle on this. Okay? So these were easy base effects right here. When the base effects in China, the base effect is the 2-year comp. Okay? 2-year comp. Write that down. Keith and Darius said that the 2-year comp equals the base effect. Okay? So the base effect went from here to here. That's called an easing base effect. And what did the growth rate do? This should be green. This is called an acceleration in China. And then what happened? The base effects started to go get more difficult. So that should be red. So as the base effects got more difficult, what did China do? It slowed. Now the base effects, while they're easing, I'm going to use yellow because that's what Darius has been doing lately. And this is yellow. My least favorite color, yellow. While they're easing, and again, this is easing.
It's like mustard yellow.
They're not easy, baby. Okay? See that? Now, if I was teaching little Lucy and little Reese in school today, first day back, I'd teach them about the secret to the universe, which isn't just love. It's calculus. All right? So you see that. See, this level of comparisons, which was systematically and politically created by Xi to become elected for life. Think about that incentive. Is much higher than even this level, where the global economy, by the way, wasn't yellow. It was down on its knees, crying, begging, praying, okay? So there's a lot to be concerned about here, a lot, and obviously markets are too.
Yep, and then just one final thought on that, because we got this question yesterday from a subscriber. Our quad projections for the out quarters aren't impacted by the current data. The level of growth, the level of inflation that determines those quad projections are impacted because the nowcast will reset the entire projection higher or lower based on the current rate of change of the data.
Right.
But in terms of the quads and how the model sort of inversely and proportionally sort of interpolates the current rate of change or the current base rate into future subsequent periods, that won't change.
Yeah.
So that's why you see those 2s and 1s and 2s in China initially that have since turned to 4s and could potentially be turning into a 3 in that table on slide 94.
Today, by the way, if you want to read up on what could be happening in China, I used your old friend. Some people love him, some people don't. Bill Clinton. His quote, and I quote, it's a beauty quote. And it starts, again, this book is called Asia's Reckoning. A fantastic book for those of you that really want to understand the long cycle and the potential similarities between China and the U.S. today versus China versus Japan back in the early 90s. And a great quote by Bill Clinton in the 90s. Can anybody tell me what is wrong with Japan? You know, I think they had 6 or however many prime ministers in Japan throughout his tenure. He just, because what was happening, and this is a very simple relationship that you should all, for those of you that are politically inclined and trying to become more mathematically inclined, that's why you're subscribing to us, there's a simple relationship in macro. As the rate of change of the economy slows, political relationships sour.
Absolutely.
Try it at home. As the as the financial situation of your spouse deteriorates, does the relationship have a central tendency to improve or deteriorate? Again, I'm just generally talking because, you know, the number one reason for divorce is financial problems. But again, this is what's happened, okay? So to blame it all on trade wars is not only politically convenient, but again, it's just stupid, okay? So you would not do that. You have to consider the cycle that I just showed you. That's the cycle. And then the secular, which again begs the question, which is China Japan in the early 90s as we enter the early 2020 period or not? I don't know the answer, but I'm readily willing and available to take the data to submit a better version of the answer every single day.